Welcome to this lecture in which I'll introduce you and go take you through the course contents. Okay, so in this course, you will basically learn about the CAN protocol completely. You will master it, and the CAN FD protocol with respect to in comparison with CAN protocol, and then in industry how the CAN implementation is done means what is the basics of that and how the validation of CAN is done, and we will show you a demo of Canalizer tool, right? So there are almost 18 lectures which are technical parts. So we will start with the CAN introduction. In CAN introduction, we will tell you what is CAN protocol, and we will explain you its comparison with other protocols, how CAN is the best one for automotive applications, etc. And then we will explain the CAN features, which includes like the what is the CAN speed, how much data can it carry, the physical properties of CAN bus and the CAN logic part. And we will tell you about the CAN controllers, what do they do, CAN transceivers, what do they do, and the network topology of that. So CAN features about that we will understand, and then we will understand the various CAN properties, the characteristics of CAN, whether it is a half duplex, full duplex, wired, wireless, serial, parallel, synchronous or asynchronous if it is, whether it is a peer-to-peer or a broadcast kind. What do you mean by it's a message-based protocol, various and CSMA CA kind of protocol. So various properties are there. So where does the CAN belong to, and what are these various properties of CAN? These things you will understand. That is in the first section, which is the CAN protocol basics. Once this is done, then we will go to the details of the CAN frames, right? So what are the different CAN frame types? We will understand that, and then we'll understand the data frame format of standard data frame. And I have made some Excel tool to get you familiar with CAN tool data frame format and all. That one we will also show you. So after that, you will understand the extended frame format. What are those extended frame, standard frame, etc. Everything will be explained in these lectures. And then we will come to the CAN protocol basics parts, like what is a bit segmentation, what is bus arbitration, how does a node become a transmitter or a receiver, and what is a bit stuffing, why it is required. Then the checksum computation, what is the logic used, and how does a checksum is computed for a CAN protocol. Those things BCH method is explained here. And then the CAN error handling. If some fault occurs in the CAN, then how is it handled? Then what are the types of CAN errors and what is the error frame format? So error flags and all those things, and error state, what is bus off, which you might have heard in CAN most of the time. So that will also be explained in this section, right? And then till this we will be going through the CAN protocol and then the CAN FD protocol. So what is the CAN FD introduction, and then the CAN FD frame format, and what is the difference between CAN and CAN FD? All those things you'll be understanding it in this section. And then till this it is a theoretical part, and then comes a practical part where what do you mean by CAN implementation? What is the meaning of that? How it is done? And how it is tested, validated. Those parts basics will be explained here. And taking a canalizer as one of the CAN tool which is very famous in automotive domain nowadays. It is from vector tool. So canalizer we will show a extensive demo with that, how the frames are sent on the bus, how the bus frames are received, how the traffic on the bus is measured and monitored, and how to use Canalizer for testing the CAN frames on with the ECU, how it happens in real-time scenario in companies. Those things also will be given. You'll be getting a flavor of that, right? And then we will have a assessment part here. The final quiz will be there, and after that you will be getting a Udemy certification for CAN and CAN FT protocol. Okay, so that's it about the contents, and I wish you all the best. And please start with the lectures and sit back and relax and practice on your own after you read lecture. Just try to write it down what you learned in your own words so that you can make a notes out of it. And I hope this course will really help you. That's it from my side. Thank you.